live, and I'm in Southern California, and I will take your telephone calls in a moment. 1-800-636-8686. But as promised, I'm joined by the UFC heavyweight champ. He is coming off a second-round stoppage of Frank Mir at UFC 100. My guest is Brock Lesnar. Brock, nice to have you on the show. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, thanks for having me.
Brock, I appreciate it. Good to have you. All right, so 17 months after he beat you, you dominated Frank Mir in the rematch. Aside from the outcome itself, what was the biggest difference for you the second time around?
Well, I think for me it was just, it's always hard to come, for me it hasn't been hard to come back from a loss, but it's just, like I've said before, I'm a sore loser, and to come in and try to make an impact in the UFC the way I wanted to, it didn't really, the start wasn't as good as I wanted it, but, the redemption and revenge is bittersweet for me, and now it's back to reality, back to being home and back to doing the things that I enjoy doing, being with my family and, taking care of my newborn son and all that good stuff.
So was winning that fight enough, or did you have to win the fight in the fashion that you did, getting pulled off him by the ref?
I guess, from the beginning, I thought that fight, our first fight should have been stopped. I thought it was going to end on the ground, and I wanted to finish it exactly the way I thought it should have been finished, and that was me, pounding him out on the ground.
Brock Lesnar joins us. Brock, obviously there was some bad blood between the two of you. Let me ask you this. Did you dislike him, or did you dislike what he did to you and how that first fight ended?
I don't have any. I've said it before. I don't have anything against Frank at all. I mean, this is the only thing that I had against him was that I felt that he had a cheap win over me, and I wanted to make it very clear that I'm better than he was in the octagon, and so it was there was a lot of built-in anger in me just knowing that I gave him that first fight. I made a foolish mistake, one that we had worked on, and I couldn't believe myself. I was watching some footage this morning of myself in the first fight against Frank of how disgusted I was in myself as an athlete, just because of the hours of training that goes into, and then getting caught in something that I knew that he was going to be trying to catch me in. So it was a feeling that I had to carry with me for 17 months,
So it sounds like you felt like you beat yourself more than he beat you in that fight. Is that accurate?
Absolutely, yeah. That's how I felt. I felt like I gave him. I almost felt like I was back in the WWE ring, and I gave a guy a win that didn't deserve to win that night, and it really made me sick for a long time.
Brock Lesnar joining us, UFC heavyweight champ. Hey, Brock, speaking of the WWE, you kind of went WWE after that fight, and you lobbed the fans the double bird. You're up in Mir's grill. Dana White was unhappy about that. You've covered this, but I'm going to ask you again. Did you do anything after that fight that, looking back on now, you regret?
Oh, absolutely. My emotions, and I guess it was, to me, I trained for 8 weeks to beat a man that and then also to carry a loss for 17 months. And I really let my emotions get the best of me. It wasn't about me, trying to get on the microphone, and I have no idea. I guess I should have waited about 5 minutes to cool down and have my trainers get in there and put the leash on me, but it was just, I was full of adrenaline.
So you got caught up. I mean, for instance, that sort of thing works really well in WWE. You've got to entertain. You've got to get people to watch. You've got to get people to spend some money. Do you think to yourself, it worked for me there, it can work here? Or do you think, different room, different place, I need to dial this down, it's not going to play here?
Well, I mean, I haven't done it every fight. After my Couture fight, I was very humble, and that's who I am, but I mean, it just depends on the moment, I guess. This is a business, the Dana and Lorenzo and these guys, ultimately they want to sell a lot of pay-per-views, and that's not my job. My job is to get in there and fight and to win fights, and that's my ultimate goal, is to be the best UFC heavyweight champion this company has had. So I guess for me to get on the microphone at the end, and I could have done it in a more respectable fashion, but I guess it's what's done is done. I can't go back and change anything. Will something like that ever come out of me again? Probably not, no.
Brock Lesnar joining us. So what did Dana White tell you after that? Keep it clean. Don't hit me with any four-letter bombs, but what was his message to you?
Me and Dana have a great relationship, so I mean, and that's I guess it's gratifying to me to know that me and him and also Lorenzo. So it wasn't he didn't come back and we didn't there wasn't the papers and the things that I've heard are people are going to spin this thing in whatever direction that they want, but no, he came back and spoke to me as a man and said, "Hey, we just can't talk about our sponsors in this, and I understood that. It was like I apologized to him before he even opened his mouth, So I mean, it was like I knew that after what I said, it's like, oh, I wish I could go back and rewind this minute and a half here, but I can't. So.
Hey, see, Brock, the thing is, I mean, so after that, all of a sudden, you're the guy that allegedly everybody's supposed to hate. You're the villain. You're the heel. But what I'm hearing from you is, look, I got caught up. It was emotional. The guy beat me. I carried that around for 17 months. I just got caught up in the moment. You don't sound like the villain. You don't sound like the heel. Is that the way you are? Are you playing a role? How are you going to approach that going forward?
Well, when I got into fighting, and left the entertainment industry, it was an industry that I didn't want to be involved with anymore. But the fans are going to look at this however they want, and I'm just going to have to, like I said, I'm going to have to get in the octagon and just prove that I'm the best heavyweight champion in the world, and that's what I want. I don't want to take. I'm not going to focus my time and energy on how I'm going to be. I'm going to be who I am, and that's how it's going to be. But my number one goal is to carry this UFC belt as long and as possible as I can.
Hey, Brock, that's interesting. When you said, when I got into fighting and I left the entertainment world, when you were tearing it up, quote, in the entertainment world, did you feel like an athlete or an entertainer?
I felt like an entertainer, and that's how we portrayed this. I was every day we pushed the envelope, and we tried to I guess in the end make the WWE the most money that they possibly could be made, and when you come from an organization that is purely entertainment, but granted, there's athletes like myself. I think I've done a lot for the WWE to solidify. I mean, here I was a WWE champion, and now I'm the UFC heavyweight champion. So the credibility, the things that I've done for that company, I would are remarkable. It's usually the other way around. Guys leave the sports world and enter the entertainment side of things, and I've done it totally backwards. So, that's, to me, I don't look at it like that. But I mean, if you look at it on the business side of things, that's what's happening, I guess.
Yeah. How about this? I mean, if that was more entertainment than athletics, maybe, and I see your point, but did you take more of a physical pounding doing that than you have so far in MMA?
I have. I did. I'm in control. I was, just telling my wife the other day, the fighting is absolutely the easiest part about this sport. It's the training camps that are where you pick up your wear and tear. So I mean, it's just to get through 8-10 week training camp and then to go in and fight for 6 minutes or whatever it was. I mean, just think of the hours. On average, about 2 to 4 hours a day of physicality. 5-6 days a week for 10 weeks. That's a lot of hours, and that's a lot of wear and tear for 6 minutes of actual performance.